All right, thanks for being here today, everyone. We've got Ken Haslam going to start us off, and then we'll finish with some words from Coach Hauck, and then we will open it up to questions. Please raise your hand if you have a question so I can pass the mic around for the viewers back home. But Kent, we'll start with you. Your thoughts on Coach Hauck's announcement today?
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, everyone, for being here. Not an announcement we thought that we would make today at this time, but Coach Hauck visited with me last night late and notified me of his intent to retire as the head coach of the University of Montana Grizzly football team. We had a good discussion, and I just want to personally thank Coach Hauck. 8 years ago, we sat in the Canyon Club and welcomed him back, and I'm just grateful for his willingness to come to the University of Montana for a second time and do the things that he has done here and built a program that is tremendous and means a lot to this university. It means a lot to this state, and appreciate the leadership that he has provided. And he will be missed, but I'm excited for what the future holds for him and for his family, and want to thank in particular Stacy. She has been a great partner of his through all of this, and appreciate what she has done and the sacrifices that she has made to make sure that Grizzly football moves forward. So excited for the future. We move forward, and today's a good chance for us to look back on what's been a remarkable career here at the University of Montana.
So thanks, Kent. Appreciate it. It's, interesting to be here. And there's a lot of people here. I know everybody in the room really well. So Stacy's not here. She's at her Bible study. I hope they're praying for me. I need it. But she sends her best as well. So, there's never a good time to pull the plug. There's never a convenient spot in the college football calendar to announce you're retiring. So, today's as good as any, and I'll cover some of that here in these brief statements on the timing of this and the why and the wherefore, why I'm deciding to retire. But this is the second signing day. We aren't signing anybody today, but we've been working really hard in recruiting. And just like 365 days ago on this day, I sat here and talked about what a great team I thought we had assembled, and I feel the same way today. We have a team assembled here at Montana that can win and win a lot next year. I'm real comfortable with that. We have great coaches on our staff. They're good recruiters. They're great evaluators. And just like exactly 1 year ago today, I feel like we've assembled a good team for the coming year. I'm comfortable with that. The program's in great shape. For me personally, that's important, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a minute here. But the program's in great shape. The last 3 years, we've finished number 2 in the nation, number 10 in the nation, and number 3 in the nation. I kind of consider North Dakota State to be the gold standard in FCS football, and they have been for about a decade and a half. We've finished ahead of North Dakota State 2 of the last 3 years. All right, Montana football is in great shape. I love the Montana Grizzlies. I consider this my football program. Whether that's right or not, that's what I have considered it. I think I've been a good steward of this football program. We've had a lot of success here, but I wasn't going to have them spread my ashes on the practice field because I dropped dead out there. All right, there comes a juncture where it's time to do something else, and the reasons for it are these. Okay, as I mentioned, we've had an unbelievable run here, both from a on the field success standpoint twice, but also from a personal standpoint. We raised our kids here. I've got children who are fourth generation alums here. My wife's family she's a third generation alum. So we've had an unbelievable run here. We've spent a good part of our adult lives here, Stacy and I pouring ourselves into this program, and to do it right, there's no other way. And so we've given. It's been a labor of love, but we've given a lot of ourselves to this university and this football program, and frankly to this state, which is the place we love the most. But dealing from my job and the head coach's desk, dealing with, and this probably may be the most important thing I say here, dealing with what college football has become is not always enjoyable as a head coach. And, I just haven't been enjoying it enough. I want to enjoy my career and my job. And a lot of the head coach stuff in current day Division I college football is not enjoyable. And so, I just think it's the appropriate time. It's a perfect time for me to retire, to turn this over to one of my long dear friends who's a great coach. I brought him here for a reason. Kent's going to address that tomorrow, but I'm as thrilled as I can be to have such an awesome coaching staff and be able to, as I mentioned, pour a lot of myself and a lot of my life into this place and feel good about where it is and who I'm turning it over to. So, I really have no idea what I'm going to do. I don't know what retirement means for me. Anytime I've been out of coaching, the phone's always rang and I've had something to do. This is really the first time or one of the few times I can remember when I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow or next week or next month, or I know I'll my ass at the lake in the summer. I know where I'll be in July. But beyond that, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not exactly sure what I want to do. I don't know if that includes football or not. I love football. I mean, I dearly, dearly love football. It's been a passion my entire life. But I do know that I don't want to ever be a head coach. We wouldn't be sitting here today if I had any desire to be a head coach. Because if I ever wanted to be a head coach, it would be here at the University of Montana. And I don't want to do that anymore. It does not have allure for me anymore. So it's not really for me to say, but I'm hopeful that coaching colleagues around the country and then people that follow Grizzly football will say job well done, and I'm grateful for the time here and the opportunity, and I hope that feeling's mutual and that people think we did a good job. So, questions?
Just speak up so everybody can hear.
Bobby, just how...
Just wait, he's got a media. Just a second.
And then I'm on.
How long had you been thinking about this possibly retiring, and what was the process like? Were there any specific people you talked to, and just how did you come to that final conclusion, and why make it yesterday to call Kent?
Yeah, I've talked to a few coaching buddies. Mostly I talked to Stacy about it. And as I said, I went decades with looking forward to going to the office. Like, I mean, not everybody's that blessed in their life where they absolutely love what they do. And, there's different challenges every day in this job, and beyond winning and losing. But I always loved facing that challenge and the competitiveness of keeping score, but also the challenge of developing young men and all those things. But as college football has changed over the last couple of years, I've started to embrace my shelf life ending at some point. And that really is, I've had more days where I didn't enjoy coming to work very recently. And like I said, there's not really an opportune time to announce you're retiring in our calendar, but for the benefit of this football program, we had to get a team together, and that wasn't an option to do that at some point prior to this. So I've been thinking about it a little bit. Wasn't sure I was going to do it until maybe Monday. But it was time, prayed on it, consulted my wife, got the answers I needed.
Coach, was it a hard decision?
Yeah, it's a hard decision.
I don't know the answer to this one.
Yeah. This is about, for me, this is all about relationships. I mean, I'm going to maintain relationships, but the working relationships with players, former players, colleagues in the department, and then staff. I mean, I care about people, and when you're doing this job, you are going to make it, when you're the head coach in college football, you got to embrace leadership. And in terms of embracing leadership, you're going to make decisions that can negatively affect people you care about. You're going to, though through your best efforts, you do your very, very best to try to make decisions that make everybody happy. You're not going to make everybody happy. And the other thing is you're going to make decisions and do things and take criticism and not be able to defend yourself, nor want to take time to do that. There's an Abraham Lincoln statement about that. So, yeah, it is a big decision. It's a hard decision. But, for me, it's the right decision.
Coach, just as you look back on, stint number 2, you mentioned the way the team finished, looking at North Dakota State, things like that. I guess how would you sum up, stint number 2 and just what it meant to you to, A, come back here, but then build things again over the years?
Well, I'm going back to being a little redundant, Kyle, but, I've enjoyed my job. I've enjoyed Sundays with you, right? And so I think we've had a lot of fun. We've won a lot of games. And we've been highly competitive and done it the right way. So, and I look back on it, and Eric, I appreciate the release and all the kind things you said in that. But, the fact that we have a 3.2 GPA, every kid that completes his eligibility graduates. We win at the percentage we win. People love Grizzly football. I mean, I'm proud of all those things.
Coach, what do you think you're going to miss most about not being it?
Talking to you and Frank every Monday. What do you think I'm going to miss, man? It's must-see TV. Now, you guys, I know we talked offline about this, but, our press conferences on Monday are must-watch TV both in our locker room and around coaches' offices around the country. We have the basketball coaches at Washington tune in to our press conferences on Monday just for the humor in it. All right, but Raines, the honest opinion. What I miss, I'll miss practice. I'll miss assembling football teams and the competition with guys I love to be doing that with. I mean, I'm gonna miss competing with and for the Montana Grizzlies.
When you did come to that final decision, what was the kind of the feeling like for you in making that?
Well, I was with my wife and Jimmy, believe it or not, and it was tough telling Jimmy that I'd kind of come to this conclusion, and then I saw him again a couple hours, and he said, "You look more relaxed than I've seen you in 8 months. You look like you're in the right place." So, again, I'm at peace with that decision, and probably when you. Like I said, if you're a believer and you trust that there's a plan for what you ought to do next, then you can be comfortable with things.
We had a chance to talk to most of the staff or players, and what was the message to them?
Yeah, so we had a later in the afternoon staff meeting yesterday, that was more of a just rip the Band-Aid off deal and say, hey, look, this is what's going on. This is what I'm doing. And then we met with the team early this morning, and I had a chance to talk to him. Kent had a chance to talk to him. Coach Kennedy had a chance to talk to him. It was good. Tremendously positive, which is, as you know, being around it, that's kind of how we roll.
Your thoughts on Coach Kennedy and just him taking over that role and what you like about him and how he can lead this program?
Yeah, well, I mean, the reason I brought him here last year going into the season is he's a great football coach. I've tried to hire him many times, never could get him because he's always had other things that basically I could never afford him, and got him here. He's a great football coach. He's an unbelievably good human being. He's smart, got great experience, has an unbelievable resume. His wife LaShonda is awesome. I've known him for 25 years, so I know him intimately. But the best thing about BK is he's really good with people. He's good with players. He's good with people he works with. Everybody loves Coach Kennedy for a reason. He's a good dude.
Coach, what was, the straw that broke the camel's back? What about the ever-changing aspect of college football is one of the reasons you're retiring today?
Well, I did a 30-minute talk I did the keynote talk at the American Football Coaches Association convention that just was last month, and I went 30 minutes on that if you want to go back and refresh on that. But the dealing with agents and the transient nature of this and the lack of forward thinking by young people, which it's never been a strong suit for centuries for young people, but now when they've got adults pushing them and pulling them in different directions, and I kind of got tired of all that, dealing with agents and the transient nature of it. So, I mean, this wasn't like, I don't know if you said, did you just say straw that broke the camel's back? There was nothing like that. This has been residual.
I touched on it in your opening statement, but what are you most proud of when you look back at your time here?
I think the records are, winning a football game is difficult, as I say to you guys often. I'm proud of the records, but I'm proud of the men in this program and how they compete, and the core values that are everybody that has played in this program develops work ethic, toughness, discipline, and character. And so I'm most proud of when you look around this community and this state and nationally too, because they don't all stay here, but the product we produced out of this program while winning all those games is what I'm proud of.
For me, being from Montana, being so intertwined with this university, right? A lot of your identity is kind of intertwined into your job as the head coach of Montana. What do you think that's going to be like moving forward, having that separated a little bit?
Right. Well, that'll be a change, It's interesting sitting in my chair and actually, being me here and doing this job twice, and what Grizz football is and has been here for a couple decades. That's positive and negative, right? I mean, you're a public figure in this state, and to me, I've always felt like to do my job right, you had to embrace being a Montanan and be accessible and be available to people and be friendly and be one of them, right? And I always felt like if you were that, well, it was easy for me because I'm a small town Montana guy. I'm an alum of this university. That was easy for me. So I've enjoyed all that, but I'm not going to walk out that door and never be heard from again. I'm going to be around. So I have a residence here, and will always be here. I mean, this is my favorite place on the planet, and I'm going to spend at least a part of my year here always.
Ken, you kind of touched on just kind of the whirlwind that this was, but can you kind of maybe describe like the last 48 hours of getting word from Coach, and then obviously the process of choosing Bobby Kennedy and kind of going forward here, and what that was like?
I wish I'd had 48. It's been 14 hours. Coach Hauck called me, texted me at about 8, said there's something I need to talk to you about. That can be a variety of things. He's always got good advice for me, so it could have very well been something I don't know. And so I called him, and he essentially said what he's told you all here. And so gathered up the senior staff, talked through different scenarios, communicated with Commissioner Clay Christian, communicated with Kelly Webster, who's chief of staff here on campus and kind of the liaison with all of our senior leadership here on campus. I let them know, came to the conclusion that the goal had to be to keep the staff together. They are so great. They've worked so hard to build a team that is good. We needed to keep the team together. We needed this stability. And so as process through that and think through that, felt like that Coach Kennedy would be the best one to take the reins and lead the team, and keeping some other key coaches in the positions that they're in to run the offense, run the defense, all those type of things, and consulted with Bobby and got his thoughts. But the first I heard of this was 8 o'clock last night.
Then just when it comes to Coach Kennedy, just, your thoughts on him and what he's got a long history of coaching at the college level, a lot of success, but just, what made him the appealing candidate to take this job?
Well, and we'll address this more when we have Coach Kennedy here available, but certainly you interact with people for a year and get to know them and watch them, and certainly he's had a lot of success and worked for a lot of really great coaches, and I'm grateful that Bobby brought him here. It wasn't a matter of picking your favorite or something like that. It was also looking at the way the staff is constructed right now and the duties that they're going to need to keep, and he seemed the obvious choice to lead and be the head of that. It's going to take additional duties from Jimmy Morimoto, who's our associate AD over football. He'll step up and take over some of the things that Coach Hauck was so good at doing, and relieve Coach Kennedy from some of those day-to-day type of things, and need other coaches, our coordinators, to really step up and do some things as well. But it felt like that was the right way to go.
Just a one-year contract for Coach Kennedy, or does he have an interim tag? What's the
Yeah, no interim tag. I joke we're all interims. So no interim tag. He's the head coach. We'll evaluate where we're at the end of the 2026 season, just like we evaluated at the end of the 25, the 24, the 23, all of them. So he's our head coach with no interim, and we'll evaluate where we're at the end of the season.
Coach, you mentioned being at the AFCA. Was the sentiment similar? I mean, when you're talking to other coaches, are they sort of in the same level of concern in terms of the state of the game right now?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're aware I was the outgoing president of our organization, and so I've got access, have had for a long time, a lot of friends that are head coaches and access to them. And, I mean, you got to, whatever your environment is, you've got to navigate that. But I don't think that anyone believes that college football, from a structure standpoint, is in a very healthy place. So yeah, that's prevalent. I don't know many people that are saying, "Boy, it's the greatest it's ever been right now. I love the way things are." Yeah,
it'd probably take us hours to go through all the things that have changed. What hasn't changed at Montana that you sort of, just in terms of the foundation over these last 22, 23 years?
Yeah, I mean, everything's changed. That's the nature of life. I mean, life's evolutionary and everything. Our game evolves at a rapid pace and has maybe more so the last 10 years just in terms of the structure. But what hasn't changed is preparing for games. I mean, technology's changed since I started coaching. When I first started working here as a volunteer for Don Reed, we watched game film on 16 millimeter film. Now everybody in the country can click on and get any any play from any game anywhere, right? But what hasn't changed is competition's competition, work and preparation and toughness and all those different things that matter. Those haven't changed. And so the competition is what it's all about, and going out and keeping score. And that has never changed.
I think I'll add to that just really quick too, is that the university, Grizzly football, like, this is a big deal to a lot of people, and we're caretakers of it. That's it. We're caretakers of it, and Coach Hauck has done an amazing job of stewarding that gem. And so what hasn't changed is the passion of our fans, the commitment of our fans, our commitment to a student-athlete experience that provides leadership opportunities. I told the team as they were coming out today, I go, this happens in life. Like, every one of us in this room has gone through a change, or something's happened, or something unexpected. Like 24 hours ago, I was halfway between Billings and, I don't know, Whitehall, wherever it was. And little did I know I'd be sitting here today talking to you about this, but that's the nature. So those are the things that aren't going to change about college athletics. Is we're in the business of developing people. We're working at the University of Montana at a place that means something to people, that people are committed to, they're passionate about. And my message is that's not changing. And we need that commitment back too. And gratitude is to this gentleman to my left that emphasized character, discipline, focus, what it means to represent this state. This is an amazing place.
Kent, I know, Coach Hauck said the timing was never going to be perfect, but with the timing being now from your position, what is that like? Because it is a little bit, different than the last time you had to replace a head coach.
Yeah, it is a little bit different. I can tell you, I never thought Coach Hauck would be like, I'm retiring and I'm going to hang around for 11 months and go on the victory tour. I don't know. I couldn't picture you doing that. You know what I mean? Like, letting us, send him. I couldn't see that. So the timing, though, now, honestly, Sean, in college athletics is so chaotic that I'm not surprised by the timing on anything. And in ways, this is a good spot, because we've gotten into the start of school. We've got assistant coaches here. He understands the calendar. The coaches understand the calendar much better than I do. But there's no ideal time. But this is a strange time. There's no doubt about it. That was one of the things I said to Coach Hauck, because I was like really, like, right now? And then he, emphasized there's no good time. There's no good time to do this. So
now June.
Yeah.
Call at the end of July and say, hey, I decided I'm going to extend my vacation. There's really not a great time,
So Kent, as far as what do you learn in the last search, and what are you going to be looking for in evaluating, in-house over the next year, and looking externally as far as, the future of Montana football?
Well, and I mean this sincerely, my focus right now is supporting Coach Kennedy and the staff. They've assembled a great football team. I'm not the GM. I don't know what they're, I'm reading what you guys put on the news, and they sound like they're really good. So I'm going to cheer for them really hard. But my focus, and I mean this sincerely, is to focus on the staff that's here, Coach Kennedy being successful. We'll evaluate the same way we evaluate the end. How are we doing on the field? How are we doing in the classroom? How are we developing in character? Are we heading in the direction that we're going in? But for me right now, it's focused on the 2026 season and supporting this staff that is obviously, they're going through change too, and being here and making sure that our whole university, our department here is here to say, okay, now what do we do out of whatever department we're in to make sure that these young men can be successful and these coaches can be successful and we have a great experience. So that's honestly laser focused on that.
Kent, too, to just talk about that, commitment of kind of the vision of the university, right? There's been a lot of changes kind of university-wide, the last couple of weeks here. So in a leadership position, just like, how do you, stay the course, keep that commitment going when so much is changing, there's been so much turnover, and just how do you approach that, just not from athletics, but from the university as a whole as well?
Yeah, well, 13 and a half years doing this job, I was shocked when he called me, but then I'm like, I'm not surprised. But you just, again, going back to what I said, you stay focused on really the most important thing is this institution. And this institution survives whoever is sitting in chairs that are leading things. And so you just have to stay focused on that. And President Bodner stepping down and resigning. We'll get a new president in here. We've got great leadership team on this campus. This campus is heading in such a great direction. Football is heading in a great direction. Our athletic department is in such a great spot. We've got great coaches. We've got great people in leadership roles on this campus. The foundation is strong. And so you look at the positives and you look at the things that are exciting, and then just try and bring some calm and in the chaos and say we're going to be fine, folks. August 29th, we'll play a football game out there against Southern Utah. Post Malone and Jelly Roll are coming on 21st. I know you're excited about that. So we're all excited. So things are going to just keep moving. Spring tour is going to happen. We're gonna go to Boise for a basketball tournament. We're gonna play softball games. So you just stay focused on the day to day. I know that sounds cliche-ish, but there's really no other way you can do it.
Coach, just wanted to know if you had one last thing to say to the team. What was their reaction when you told them this, and what do you think of just the prospects for the Grizz next fall?
Well, I think we've got a good football team. I gotta mentally get from. This is like right now. I got to get from being coach, trying to get ready, trying to figure it out, to concerned alum who has all the answers. That just happened here, right? So I know everything now.
You got my email address?
Exactly. But, our team meeting culture was terrific. Great young guys. I love them. As I said in our last press conference after, I think, the South Dakota game downstairs, I love them. I think they love me. And I want what's best for them. And, we have a brotherhood in this program, and I'm part of that. And I'm just I'm there for them. They'll be excited. They'll be excited to get going, and they lift. I mean, they didn't miss their lift this morning. Nothing changed, so they'll be going to work. And as Kent said, they'll be ready for September or August. What?
August 29th.
August 29th.
Coach, I know how much time and effort and work that you poured into this program. What do you hope in 20, 30 years from now when people think about Coach Hauck? What do you hope that they think about?
Well, like I said, Raines, I think just that people will say, hey, man, that guy did a good job there. He cared about his players, cared about the university, cared about the people he worked with, a lot of them standing here, and did a good job. That's it. It's like anything else. Did a good job.
Thanks, everyone.
All right, thank you all, especially you folks at work here. All right.
Thanks, man. Yeah, thank you. Good job.